In today's video, I want to start by thanking all 20,000 of you who have subscribed to our channel. Without the community that you guys have helped to build and foster on this channel, none of this would have been possible. So sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a part of this journey with me, and thank you for supporting this channel. It really means a lot. In today's video, I want to tell you guys kind of my personal experience with addiction and how I think addiction works and what I believe addiction to be. And I want to do that by telling you guys a story. So let's say you were going on a road trip and you're getting ready to go from one end of the country to the other end of the country. And you're going on this road trip to visit your family and your friends. And you're pretty excited about it. You haven't seen them in a while. And you're driving, obviously. And let's say you have an older Jeep. You got a 1997 Jeep Grand Cherokee, a vehicle I used to have. And, you're excited, but you're a little bummed about this trip. You're going alone. You don't have anyone going with you. The air conditioner doesn't work too well, and the car's a little dirty. You've neglected it. It's not exactly like in the most pleasant of conditions to go on this road trip, but whatever. So you start off on this road trip feeling good, and 7 or 8 hours go by, and now you're feeling kind of bored. You're feeling kind of lonely, and you see a hitchhiker on the side of the road. And against your better judgment, you decide, I think I'm going to talk to this hitchhiker. I'm going to go pick them up. And you pull up, you roll down the window. Of course, you're being cautious. And you say, hey, what's your name and where are you going? And the hitchhiker says, oh, my name is THC. And you're like, oh, nice to meet you, THC. Where are you headed? And immediately, real sly, this person says, it doesn't matter where I'm going. Where are you going? And you think to yourself, well, that's a little weird, but I'm headed across the country to go visit some friends and family. And immediately THC responds and says, oh, that's perfect. I was headed that way too. If you wouldn't mind driving me, I'd be happy to keep you company. You hesitate, you think, you kind of second guess yourself, and then you determine, you know what? They seem friendly enough. THC, if you sit in the back seat, I'd be more than happy to bring you. I just don't want you in the front. And you say, I'll give you a ride under one more stipulation. If I ask you to get out of the car for any reason, you have to get out. THC looks at you, smiles, and says, yeah, of course, no problem. I'll sit in the back and yeah, you have my word. I'll get out of the car as long as you ask me to, for whatever reason. No questions asked. If you want me out, I'll get out. THC hops in your car and, hey, what do you know? You're off. You're on your way to see your friends and your family. And suddenly the road trip is feeling a little bit better. You're not so lonely anymore. Time is going by what seems to be quite a bit faster. And you're feeling good about this all of a sudden. Now, as you're driving along, THC says to you, hey, would you mind picking up a buddy of mine? There's another buddy of mine along the way. I know we're going to be headed right past his town. Would you mind picking him up? You initially look at THC and you say, no, honestly, I'm not comfortable with that. And I got to get to see my friends and family. THC looks at you and says, well, listen, honestly, it's really important to me that I see this person. If you're not willing to pick this person up, I'll get out right now. You look at THC and you say, well, hold on now. Wait a second. I am enjoying your company. I'm glad you're here for the ride. Fine. I will go pick up your buddy. No problem. So you go on a little detour. You take your time. You go pick up THC's buddy. And this buddy of THC is shady looking, right? And we'll call his buddy Alcohol. So you meet Alcohol and you say the same thing. Nice to meet you. Where are you going? Coincidentally, Alcohol is going the same direction you're going. Coincidentally, kind of odd, but you roll with it. And you say, you know what? Hey, would you mind sitting in the back seat? Would you mind sitting back there? I'm not comfortable with you sitting up front. Yeah, no problem, no problem. And you give alcohol the same stipulations. Listen, I'll bring you as long as you sit in the back because I'm in control, right? I'm in control of this car ride. And you have to get out if I ask you to. If I feel uncomfortable, you have to get out of the vehicle. Alcohol agrees. THC continues to agree. You're driving along, things are going okay. You're a little uncomfortable. Alcohol made you a little uncomfortable, especially alcohol and weed together. They seem a little weird, alcohol and THC together, a little shady, but whatever. Alcohol leans up and says, hey, listen, I got a favor to ask of you. I have a friend. Would you mind picking them up? And you're like, listen, I already picked you up. I already picked up THC. Where's your friend live? Where are they? And alcohol says, it's a good 3 hours out of the way. You're like, look, there's no way I'm going to pick up your friend. There's no way. Alcohol and THC say, okay, listen, then we're going to get out. And you can go back to the car ride the way it was before we got in. And aren't you having fun? Aren't you enjoying yourself? Do you really want us to get out of the car? You look and you say, you know what? No. On second thought, yeah, you're right. I want you guys to stay. So I'll go pick up your friend. Now you're going out of your way. You're going off the path that you were originally headed on. And some of that excitement that you had initially is starting to fade. You go pick up their friend and you meet their friend and his name is Nick. It's Nicotine for short. He goes by Nick. And you say the same stipulations. Hey man, listen, I'll give you a ride. At this point, I'm kind of frustrated, but I know these are your buddies. You got to sit in the back seat and you have to get out of the car the moment I ask you to. And Nicotine agrees. Yeah, no problem. I'll do that. Now you're driving along and you're kind of uncomfortable. You're starting to realize you got 3 strangers in your car and you're way off course from the direction that you were headed. All of a sudden, THC says, hey, it's getting kind of cramped back here. Would you mind if I sit up front? And you pause and you're alarmed. You're scared by this comment because this is breaking the promise that he made to you. This is weird. And you say, you know what? I'm not comfortable with that. I'm already kind of uneasy about having, picked up your friends. But no, I don't want you sitting up front. THC says, well, pull the car over. We'll get out now because we're not going to ride like this. You need to accommodate us. We need to feel more comfortable. We need to feel better if we're going to hang around with you. Or we'll leave. We'll leave you. And you can go back to the way things were before. And you think to yourself, I don't even really remember what it was like before I had you guys in the car. It's been a few days now. I don't even really remember. I think I was worse off without you. You know what, THC, come on up. Come sit up front. You can come sit up front with me. Now you're riding and you feel pretty uneasy. You feel pretty unsteady. And now there's another opening in the seat for your car. Alcohol blurts out and says, hey, you got a spare seat back here. Would you mind if you pick up another buddy of ours? And this next buddy can be whatever you want it to be. It can be cocaine. It can be opioids. It can be pornography. It doesn't matter what it is. You agree. And now you're not even in control of this road trip anymore. Someone else is driving. Someone else is in control. And this is the point where you're thinking, I have to stop. I have to end this. And this is also the point that alcohol says, hey, why don't you take the back seat? Why don't you let me drive? Why don't you let us drive? This isn't about you anymore. Now you're scared. This is addiction. This is how addiction occurs. It starts off fun. It starts off as something comforting. And then it morphs into something absolutely terrifying. And you don't feel like you're in control anymore. But there's one thing you forgot. You are in control. And all you have to do is ask them to leave. Ask them to get out of the vehicle. But it's up to you to do that. It's on you. It's not on your family that you're going to visit. They're not going to make the decision for you. Your therapist isn't. No one else is. You have to ask them to leave. Hell, screw asking them to leave. Kick them out of your car. This is your vehicle. This is your road trip. This is your path in life. They don't deserve to be a part of it. You got fooled. You got played. And you recognize that. It's on you to make the change. It's on you to take control. It's on you to drive this thing. Now, you can get support along the way. You can call your family. You can call your friends. You can get support. You can get help. But it's on you to kick them out of the car. And this is the beautiful thing. You do. You get that courage. You kick them out of the car. And now you're driving again. And you know what you realize? Things were perfectly fine before. In fact, things were way better off without those hitchhikers in your car. You forgot. You forgot what good felt like for a little while. You got manipulated by addiction. You forgot what good felt like. That's my story about addiction. That's what I think addiction looks like. That's how addiction works. And I don't care if it's heroin, alcohol, opioids, cocaine, weed, energy drinks. All of these drugs pose a risk in the right circumstances. Addiction has very little to do with the substance. It has everything to do with the consumer and their life circumstances. And don't ever let anyone tell you or belittle you because of an addiction that you might be suffering from. Because that car ride can happen to anyone. And it often happens when you're least expecting it in life. But I got good news. You're in control. This is on you. You guys, thank you for 20K. I hope this video made some level of sense. Sincerely, thank you for 20K. We got a lot of good things ahead. I promise.